everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the Collegiate Chess League's 4th season. I'm joined today by National Master Caleb Denby. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Caleb. I play a lot of chess, and I'm here today to unashamedly cheer for SLU and tell you all about some chess. So thanks to Joe for having me on. I'm super excited to be here. It's my first time on the official Collegiate Chess channel,
but
I think.
Not your first time covering a Collegiate Chess League match, I believe.
Correct.
Was it 2020? I think we did an invitational tournament, a Swiss tournament that you commentated on the St. Louis Chess Club channel.
Yeah, that all sounds right. I hopped on for the St. Louis Chess Club. I do a lot of stuff with the St. Louis Chess Club if you haven't seen it. So Tuesday nights, I teach a lecture there. Be sure to check it out sometime if you guys have the time. But not today. Today I'm here. Today we're talking about some collegiate chess teams. And St. Louis knows something about collegiate chess teams, Joe. They have some pretty good chess players here in St. Louis.
So Is that right?
Yeah, I'm expecting some good results today. Before the show, I was talking to you, and we said it's kind of like the Pro Chess League format for this Collegiate Chess League season. So speaking of the Pro Chess League, board 1 for SLU, that's Nicholas Theodoru. He's got some experience in these kinds of formats, specifically on the world champion St. Louis Archbishops Pro Chess League team, as does our board 2, I say our, JJ. JJ, Last 7 Samurai, he streams on Twitch these days, I think, and he's also a member of the championship-winning Archbishops. But actually, I think the games are getting started already.
Yeah, so I see JJ's started. He's with the black pieces against a London system, it seems. But yeah, you're telling me the top 2 boards for the SLU college team are also on the professional St. Louis Archbishops team?
That's what I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness.
Win buckets and buckets of money every time they play. That's all they do.
Isn't that a violation of like NCAA or something? Like
I don't know if they could play in the Olympics. I don't know if they count for amateur athletes anymore, but for the Collegiate Chess League, it's all allowed.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And how like, do you know anything about JJ? I actually met him at Pro Chess League Finals in 2019. That's actually something that helped inspire the Collegiate Chess League. But I do know he plays super fast.
Yeah, no, JJ is awesome. I was actually his proctor for one of the Pro Chess League matches, and he plays sort of the craziest games. And then after, it's kind of funny, he has the same demeanor as like you or I would after playing like just like the worst game of your life, like where you just blunder everything, and you're just like, wow. All right, glad that chess game's over. On to the next thing in my life. I guess I'm done with chess. But he has this demeanor after like every game because he plays super crazy chess, super exciting chess. And then, obviously both players make a ton of mistakes, even though they're very, very strong grandmasters, and they just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I've noticed that he definitely gives off that demeanor, like you said, on his streams. So shout out to the Last 7 Samurai on Twitch. See White's,
and this is Rookie 5. This is an exchange sacrifice.
Yeah,
I guess.
Look at that. And the knight takes, so that's the clear continuation.
Yeah, so I think what Dasani Bottlecap here is going for, who is, by the way, Kevin Haas. I think he's aiming to invade on these light squares. If you notice, JJ's bishop on c8 can't quite get to the king's side comfortably to help defend these squares like g6 or h7. So Bottlecap here is trying to take advantage of that, and that's why you saw the rook get given up for a knight. The knight defended the light squares. Now it cannot because it's dead. And it's on JJ to see if he can defend this position.
Yeah, that knight on e5 is really a beautiful piece. Definitely on essentially what is an outpost square. Can't be kicked out by a pawn. But this knight on f6 is doing a good job of trying to cover some of the light squares, like you said, h7. But also, like, this pawn on d5 is defending e4. I want to get like my knight or my queen to e4 to deliver checkmate on h7. So looks like
Yeah,
Kevin's trying to dislodge this knight, maybe like f4, or like, I mean, first I think they should castle long, but at some point
right.
they want to get g5 in, and then
Yeah,
maybe
I have
bring
to
the queen to
say,
h5.
I'm not a big believer in this particular sacrifice. I think white is probably 4 or 5 moves away from bringing the rest of their pieces into the game. So JJ should have plenty of time here to get organized, make sure there's no serious threats on this diagonal, and then just be up in exchange.
Yeah,
Like you said, white needs to queenside castle. White needs to play f4 and g5. They probably need to play knight df3 as well. And in the time it takes you to play all of these different moves, JJ is going to get organized. I'm expecting actually knight e4 here. I think that's JJ's idea. And
knight e4.
okay,
Oh, with the bishop. Okay.
yeah, knight d7 instead is also quite good. So he's just immediately, before white gets castled and brings the rest of the pieces in, giving white some problems to solve, and not giving white time, actually, to organize, to play all these moves and attack.
Okay, so giving the exchange back.
Yeah, giving the exchange back, but only after this move f4 is on the board. I think that's actually really important, because now that f4 is on the board, white has all these weaknesses. So even if the material is taken back, white's going to have to sit and defend this f4 pawn, and it's just not going to be fun. It's just not going to be fun.
Yeah, so maybe if you save the bishop and go bishop c2, do you think black would insist and take on f4 with the rook?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's why we see the exchange taken back, and now g3 defending that f4 pawn.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm thinking JJ might play the move e5 here. I think this might be his intention. E5, and if f takes e5, then just queen takes e5, because he's a mean guy like that.
Mm.
Yeah, there he goes. E5 on the board.
So yeah, honestly, taking just instinctively looks bad because you're leaving the g pawns doubled and isolated.
Yep.
But if you don't take, I mean, black will take and you're losing material, or they'll push e4, and that's not pleasant.
Yeah,
Um,
if you try f5 in particular, then e4 attacks the bishop on d3. The g3 pawn is also hanging, and again, white is just missing some moves here. If white were already castled queenside, then maybe white would be doing okay at the end of the day. But with the king on e1, not gonna be good.
I see someone's asking about the prize pool. We have a prizes command, I believe. If you want to check out our information page, it's all there. It's the same essentially as last season, except we have more divisions, so the money's spread out a little bit more. And I also see someone here had their morning made because Caleb's here, and I agree. Caleb made my morning as well.
Hello, Pandiculation Chess. Good to see you, buddy. Pandiculation's been around for some time, I think.
And so have you.
Some
Yeah.
undisclosed amount of time, yes.
Um,
So this game, I think JJ kind of has in the bag. Now he's taken on f4, and white's pieces remain awkward. Black's just up a clean pawn, and shouldn't be
yeah.
too difficult.
And up on the clock as
Um,
well. If you want to look at another game, we can.
yeah, so I want to check out this this game between Dishonor on Your Cow, one of my favorite usernames, aka Talia Cervantes, against Ben Lee, who is 1e4 x. Is that a no? That's 1-0. 1e4 1-0.
Yes. E4
So
and win.
this is yeah. So this is Michigan's board 1 against SLU's board 4. So this is as good as it gets for Michigan. They need to definitely score a point here.
Yeah, look at
And
this
yeah,
gold king.
I know Talia super well. She is a very fighting chess player, and so she's not afraid to have the king on e4, battling in what I wouldn't call an endgame just yet, but a queenless middle game. The king can be a very active piece. It helps just support the structure here. And once some more pieces get traded, it's going to be a pretty big threat to black's position, I would say.
So this king can get flushed out unless Talia intends on blocking on d4, but black has rook c4 check. And if the king goes
Yeah,
back to e3, there's maybe bishop c5 check, which is annoying. But black didn't go for this. Instead,
yeah.
they
Rook
push.
d3 seemed a little surprising. I would have expected rook d4, honestly.
Yeah, rook d4, but there could have been maybe bishop c5 still.
Yeah, maybe the thinking is that after rook d4, like you said, bishop c5, then after rook d3, bishop a7, for example. And I think it's useful for black to switch diagonals like that. I think the dark squared bishop would rather be on that a7 g1 diagonal than the diagonal it's currently on.
Yes. And so we have simply a3 that prevents b4, and looks like Ben's just taking the space on the king side now as well with h4, and now rook check, king back. Are we going to see, oh, bishop check this way?
Yeah, I think rook d4 needed to be played, to be honest. I think we had to get one of these rooks off the board because now Ben's going to be able to target that e5 pawn. The black piece is really just kind of springing to life here. There's not... I don't see a good way for Talia to deal with this.
Yeah, the king has fallen from grace from e4 back to e2.
Yeah, I was hoping for rook d4, and then after rook takes, it's actually going to take back with the king. But instead, Talia goes rook d6 here, and so
rook
she's
d1.
remaining active.
Yes.
I think that's a really smart idea. So it would have been easy for a lot of players, I think, to play rook e1 to help defend this pawn on e5, and then just sort of moving the king out of the way to make sure e5 stays well defended. But the best defense is sometimes an active attack, and that's what Talia is doing here. She puts the rook on d6. She counterattacks against the a pawn rather than passively defending.
Yeah, so that forces or makes Ben retreat with the bishop. And yeah, so Talia's got the active rook now. She is down, though, on the clock about a minute.
Yeah, that's the key. In my experience, kind of in all-time controls, I can try and keep up with some really strong chess players over the chessboard. But even in standard time control chess, like 90 plus 30, the area where they get you is everything you're doing, they're just doing kind of faster. All these complicated lines that they're calculating, that they're looking at, they're looking at them faster. And so that's what Ben is trying to do here, keep the pressure up on the clock. But that's an f7 pawn.
Yeah,
Joe, that's
so
an f7 pawn right there.
After rook d4 check, I guess the king had to go back to e8, but Ben went to c7, and there goes the f7 pawn. Also, I noticed JJ won their first game.
Yep, that game wrapped up.
I'm not sure. Have you seen Theodoru's game yet, or no?
I have not. Let me pull that up.
Well, I don't know if I haven't seen it either, so I asked.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing yet, actually.
That's weird.
Rook d4 in the game, so Talia trying to simplify a little bit, I think. But Ben says no, not going to take on e5, which would allow some complicated tactics. Maybe actually rook h4 was Talia's intention, but we get rook g4 now. King f7 is just in time to defend. And it's definitely Talia who's pressing here. An extra pawn is an extra pawn, but we'll see if she can find some way to break through. Black, I think, should still have the better bishop here, which is going to make things difficult. But yeah, a4 is definitely the break to look out for. So Ben pulls this bishop out from e7 and is aiming to put it on g3, where it both defends this pawn on h4 and actively attacks the pawn on e5. And in the meantime, Talia's king is on the move again. She's on the move. She's heading into the queen side this time, trying to remain active and keep up the pressure here.
It's like a car chase commentary. We've got an active king heading southbound towards that b5 pawn.
Dude, all units on the lookout here for Talia's king.
Okay, so
it's mobile.
Trying to trade the e pawn for the h pawn, it seems.
Yeah, Talia is trying to get rid of her only real weakness, I think, with this idea. E5 was getting attacked by Black's bishop, and Talia now does manage to trade that off for the H pawn. But unfortunately, I think things feel like they're starting to slip in time pressure. You actually see the B2 pawn is going to be a little bit weak now, as is G2, unless Talia is very careful. So
yeah.
she gets this rook on G4. It's attacking,
Oh, there
yeah,
goes a
attacking
pawn.
G6, I was just going to say. But oh
Oh,
my goodness, is
that's
she getting
so close to
checkmated?
mate, but it's not. That
Yeah,
was
not
super close.
checkmate yet.
She had A3.
It's all under control. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see mate. I don't see mate. King B3. Oh, goes back.
Okay, King A4. I think
Little
she's gonna come
repetition.
to C4
Yeah, maybe she should have tried
eventually.
C4. This is the
Yeah,
last
she just
chance.
repeats
All right, there
and
it
then
is.
does.
So yeah, the B4 pawn is passed, but it's also paralyzed because the bishop would be hanging. So the bishop steps back.
So black is lost if this b4 pawn comes off the board and nothing else changes. But that is definitely easier said than done. Getting this
Ooh,
b4 pawn off the board.
that's a strong check. Um,
You see some pieces encircling the black king here. Ben needs to be a little bit careful. It's possible to get checkmated with just this rook
oh,
and this bishop.
this forces a
Ooh, what a
trade.
move! Yeah, I think Talia should be winning now. I think we go bishop f4.
Mm-hmm. That prevents the king from
Um,
getting to G3.
it does do that. Okay,
Ooh, okay, bishop back
e5.
H2.
E5 is really strange to me. I don't know why Ben voluntarily put his pawn on this square. So you see Talia trying to control all the squares that Black's bishop can move to. With this king on d3, it defends the e4 pawn, prevents bishop d2, and actually White's bishop was preventing bishop e1, but you see Talia move that piece now. And it's time for g4. Okay, Talia chooses the simple route, but this is only going to be good enough for a draw.
Oh, but
One
she
pawn
hangs
better now.
she hangs the H pawn, yeah.
Yeah, this simplifies things,
Oh, I would have
but
done
yeah, I think she should have gone for g4. I think g4 would have given her some excellent winning chances. Now, this draw is actually a lot simpler than you might expect. You see Ben putting the king on e8. All he has to do is move his bishop all over the chessboard for the rest of the game, and White's pieces are physically incapable of attacking the e8 square. You just cannot attack that square.
Oh, I see we have a result between
Yeah,
Stavrula and Let's Go Ban. I believe that's Justin.
yeah, so Stavrula, I think in her second or third year at SLU now. I remember when she joined the team as a freshman. And her last name is Solakido. And so, of course, her chess.com username now is So Lucky Though. And Joe, why don't you ask me how that came to pass?
Yeah, so how did Stavrula get such an amazing chess.com username?
Well, it's because I'm hilarious, is why it happened. Of
Wow.
course, as with all things.
So lucky.
Um, So she stole my joke about her own last name. I was devastated that I didn't get like a writing credit on her chess.com profile, but I played her in a local rapid event in St. Louis, and I was like, "Yeah, Stavrula, like I was fortunate enough to win," and I was like, "I might have won, but you know, I only won because I got so lucky though." And then and then ever since, now you go.
Did
Now you know the
she didn't
chess.com username.
she didn't even commission you for that?
No, I didn't. I didn't make a cent off
Oh
of
my
So Lucky. I
goodness.
should have gone to the patent office. Should have said I need a copyright on So Lucky though. But no, we'll give that one away for free. So with that result, I think there are no games in progress right now. Is that right?
Yeah, they
Because
might we're still trying to figure out the top board from SLU.
right. So we're missing this game between Nick Theodoru and Evan Ling from UMich. But that was an impressive first round from Michigan on those
They had the two
other three
draws, yeah.
boards. Yeah,
Um,
2 draws is not so bad. Especially, I think Stavrula was the rating favorite um, against Justin, I guess. Let's Go Band. And so, not a bad result there. Actually, Talia, though, does upset Ben Lee's. So, Michigan really would have liked to get a win, especially with that board 1 versus board 4 matchup. Um, but Talia, not so easy. Not so easy to take down.
yeah, like you said though, Talia could have won that game, so maybe Michigan's the lucky one
Maybe,
to get
maybe,
away with
yeah.
that draw.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing about these strong IMs, GMs. You can think you've got them backed up into a corner. You think you're gonna win, but they just are more resilient than anybody else. They do not go down easy. Even in dead loss positions, they find all these tricks. They find all these ways to give you problems. And getting a full point against these guys is never easy.
So yeah, we're just either waiting on Theodoru to play the first round game versus Evan, or for round 2 to begin, or both. Uh, but I
It
think,
looks like Nico, as we call him, is online, and so is his opponent.
yeah, I've been able to follow them,
They're
but
both here. They're both here. They just need to
uh,
start playing chess.
yeah. So I think the best is for them to just challenge each other manually. But who knows? Maybe that can be a problem to solve as well. Chess.com sending challenges. Like, not everyone knows how to do it.
Yeah.
But
Um. So a little bit about Nicholas Theodoru. I used to love calling him one of the world's strongest international masters, but that's not even true anymore. He went and wrapped up his grandmaster title. I think he was missing a third norm for the longest time. He was rated like 2550 with the IM title. It was just absolutely ridiculous. But no one can call him the world's strongest international master anymore because he is a full-on GM. And of these players, I think I have a decent record against Talia and against Davrula. I've never played JJ, but I have never beaten Nicholas Theodoru in a chess game in my entire
oh
life, I
man.
think. I
Well,
played
neither
him,
neither have I, if that makes you feel any better.
yeah, I played him a few years ago at actually the 2018 Pan Ams, way back when I went to school. And that game was honestly very, very depressing. That was one of the saddest games of chess I've played in recent memory. Um, so Nico has been around for a while. He's been on the SLU team for a while, and he's been crushing people for as long as I can remember, at least.
And that's a long time because you've been around
Oh, I've been
for
around. Nobody
for
knows.
for an undisclosed amount of time.
Nobody knows quite how long, but
Yeah.
I've been around.
Caleb knows a thing or two about chess and the people in the chess community, especially the SLU team. So
Yes.
Caleb's based from St. Louis, right?
Yep, I'm coming to you guys from St. Louis, Missouri here.
Oh, really? So
And
I thought you were in the Illinois side of things.
no, I grew up on the Illinois side, but I've
Uh,
moved to the city. I've joined the dark side of the river, and I think I'm here to stay. So officially in St. Louis, Missouri now.
well, that's, I feel like a step up, perhaps. I see WG Adriana followed. Thank you. Hello and welcome. Appreciate that. We're live with the SLU versus University of Michigan Collegiate Chess League match. This is round 2 of Division 1 in our 4th season. And we're just waiting for round 2 to start. The players are taking a little pause, I suppose. I am not playing viewers, Chess Boy. But if you wanted to play either Caleb or me, you might be able to on one of our streams. We both stream outside of this channel. We have a nice convenient hosts command that you can spam if you want to find our links.
How
I hope I spelled Bindi Cable right.
That looks right. It's one of those weird usernames where it's just two really common words, but you still feel like something's wrong because it's just two words that you've sort of never heard together, you know? It's like bendy cable. Like, is that real? It's
Yeah,
real. I
you know,
promise.
I wasn't sure if it was
Um,
Bindi Caleb or it seems we got it right.
yeah, yeah. We have chess games though. Stavrula has started her game against Ben Lee, so that's the board one for Michigan up against board 3 for the SLU team. And yeah, I don't think we mentioned it, but SLU repping a mixed roster here with two boys on boards 1 and 2, and uh, two female players on the bottom two boards.
Which game has started? I don't see it.
I've got Ben Lee against Stavrula, so that's the 1E4, 1-0 against So Lucky though.
So last match, SLU played against University of Waterloo, who joined the Collegiate Chess League for the first time. And So Lucky though put her queen into a discovery tag, and the discovery tag was so strong that she actually had to sacrifice her queen for rook. But her
Wow.
opponent decided not to take the queen and to continue the attack, which did not pan out very well because Stavrula, with
Yeah.
her extra queen, was able to deliver checkmate in 4 moves after the declined queen sacrifice. So,
Yeah.
her
Stavrula, not an easy person to checkmate.
her username
I
is
can
very
think.
appropriate, not
Yeah.
only for her name but for her playstyle. It seems for that particular game. Um,
Yeah, when you get lucky every game though, it stops being luck at some point.
of
So
course,
some of these players can make it seem like, oh yeah, I was probably busted here, but I guess I lucked out and managed to somehow come back. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it, Stavrula. You're not fooling anybody. But Stavrula really showing some bravery here. She just calmly plays Rook B8, facing down these knights that are about to invade on the king side. I would be really worried about Knight FG5, which actually creates the threat of something like Knight F6 check when the queen and the knight work together to hit this H7 pawn. But Stavrula doesn't care. She says, Rook B8, I want my queen side counterplay. You do whatever you want on the king side, Ben, and I will just defend.
also I notice Ben's playing here from the Vatican City. You love to see it.
Nice, of course. What's your favorite joke country flag, Joe?
Well, one that I definitely have to mention is one of our top players in the Collegiate Chess League from Princeton, Andrew Tang, also known as the Penguin GM, is proudly repping North Korea.
Nice.
Um, so
That's a good
that's
one.
yeah, that's up there for sure.
Do you know if chess.com has the Antarctica flag?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
That's
They
that's
sh-
one of my favorites
they
from
should.
the ICC era. Everyone would be
Uh,
repping Antarctica.
yeah, who would have thunk that they have a super strong chess team?
Yeah.
Definitely not me.
Um, the other one I like is the Isle of Man flag. I just like the design on that one, and I will occasionally pull that
Wait,
one out
which one?
for the Isle of Man
Ah.
flag. It's the one with like the disembodied legs that are like in a, you know. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not making
No,
that up. Hold on, Isle of Man
I'm
flag.
really
Yeah,
bad at geography, so don't take
it's
my
got it's got like three legs that are all like joined in the center and like going around in like a swirl. Um, and it's just like a really weird flag. So I like that one. So Stavrula, by the way, seems to be doing a great job of keeping control over the board here. She's got the two bishops against the two knights, and the two knights are looking pitiful, if you ask me. Look at this knight on d2. No squares to go. It had to retreat from its strong outpost on e4, did not find any way into the position, could not make it to d6, could not make it to g5. And you see Stavrula with this nice battery on the a8, h1 diagonal. keeping these knights pinned down on the squares that they're at. And the bishop on e7 doing a great job of controlling c5, controlling d6, keeping that queen solid on the d5 square.
Hey, I see Theodoro has played. They're playing the second round game, so they skipped the bottom board from Michigan. I think that they're just like not responding. So
I see.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like they haven't started their second round either. So might be some free points for SLU. I don't know the regs on this one, but I would assume we're getting some forfeit losses here.
yeah. I think that Theodoro will get that point for the first round. So 3-1 after one round, and hopefully they show up for the second round. But if not, that'll be another point. But yeah, at least Michigan's missing their fourth board and not their top board.
Yes,
That's one thing I'll have to say.
Ooh, and the chat room is very divided on the North Korea flag.
Yeah, I think
Hot topic.
I think Botez is another chess celebrity that's repped the North Korea flag. If we want to give White Noise some more fuel.
Boy, oh man, we're canceling the whole
Yeah,
Twitch chess community now.
I wonder if anyone actually from there can play on chess.com. I don't know what the regulations are there.
Yeah, last I've heard, internet is a scarcity in North Korea, so I don't know if they have anybody.
But the flag is an option on chess.com, so
it is an option. So
yeah, you could really choose wherever. I'm not sure if Ben is actually in the Vatican City, or if Stavroula is in Greece right now, but I'm assuming she is actually Greek.
So she is from Greece. She does live in St. Louis now, though. I think she is on the team, going to school here, of course.
And I think Theodora is also Greek.
Yeah, SLU with the strong Greek players. They found this place.
the Greek
these
connection.
Super strong players. Yeah, I don't know how they did it. I don't know what head coach Alejandro Ramirez is doing, but he knows all the Greek players. Got him to come to St. Louis.
Yeah.
So Stavroula chose to play this move f5, which is really interesting. So the way to play against knights, really in any position, is to try to take away their stable squares. So you see Stavroula playing this move f5, trying to keep the knight out of a square like e4, doing what she can to prevent it from aiming for squares like d6, trying to keep these knights sort of at bay, back in the position, not able to come out and find outposts.
Yeah, if this knight ever leaves d2, which I would hope that it aspires to leave d2 someday, then this bishop could be a really nice piece on e4. But yeah.
Yeah, and you see the bishop move from e7 to b6. Now it controls c5 and also targets this d4 pawn. And the bishops just are too good. Bishops are too good. That's the end of the story here.
Too strong. Yeah, bishop a6, just kicking that rook out again seems decent.
Yeah, bishop a6, maybe bishop d5. Instead, we see this move
d5.
h6.
A flight square, again, perhaps?
A flight square and taking another square
taking away
g5 from this knight on f3. Yeah, no squares for the knights. Don't let them in.
Yeah, and that knight probably wasn't planning on moving anyways. Like queen d5 would be pretty strong. Okay, so this move, again, allowing for the bishop to e4 or to d5.
Yeah, so bishop e4, bishop d5, both strong options. But notice Ben is finding a square for this knight. He says, I control the c file. I have this pawn on d4. That gives me the c5 square. So I think that's where he's aiming. We'll see if he actually manages to get there, though, because I think there might be
some tactics. Is there bishop d5? So bishop d5, attack the rook.
Yeah, bishop d5. White might go
The
for
knight
knight
c5.
c5 anyways.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
going
so
for the
bishop
queen.
e4 instead. Okay. Queen c1. So it's important that white keeps this rook on d1 defended. Otherwise, knight c5 might run into some tactics down the d file. But yeah, bishop e4, queen d5 is the setup Stavroula goes for.
Going
So
for
keeping the pressure on, going for threats on
f3.
f3. Not to mention just sort of touching this rook on c4. You know, just keeping an eye on him, making sure that's if someday the white queen needs to move, then there's gonna be problems. Mm.
Keeping that rook in check.
Yeah, by the way, last game, Talia had a good position, but was down on time, couldn't end up converting. But Stavroula, with the good position, also with the good time situation, up 30 full seconds and counting.
Yeah, Ben's got to move, and he does so with just over 10 seconds left on the clock. And he's trying to, first off, defend the knight, and second off, flush the bishop out of e4. So bishop d3,
Yeah,
attacking the rook. Rook's counterattack
Stavroula's
on.
worming her way in here. You might see bishop e2. She can actually take on
Can you take on
d4 right
d4?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Bishop e2 first, yeah, and now I think we'll see the capture on d4. I
the
think it's time
check.
to cash in this bishop pair. Stavroula might disagree though. She might say, "My bishops are so
Oh,
strong, I
yeah.
don't even need to take d4. I'm not ready to give them up."
Well, so
Yeah.
she goes back to a6 and is now attacking d4. It doesn't come with check anymore. But yeah, she's just not interested.
No rush at all here. The d4 pawn.
It's there to
This is one of
stay.
those things where the threat is stronger than the execution. I think like the d4 pawn is great to attack. It's a horrible weakness for white, but once you capture it,
Rook
then
takes, pawn takes.
white doesn't have so many weaknesses
So
anymore.
pawn takes allows for the knight to be freed. But maybe like bishop b7.
Yeah,
Maybe
so Stavroula does get g5, g4, and
she's just
now
pushing
keeps
through.
rolling with
h5.
f4. So with these bishops, she is trying to get at that white king, but b takes c3, as you said, frees up the knight. Definitely an improvement in the structure for Ben, and that time advantage is entirely gone now. She's down to 4 seconds. It's going to just be instant moves from here on out, I think.
Knights coming in.
Oh, this
Ooh,
knight lands on f6
Queen
now.
h7's
Look
a
out.
threat. Queen
Look
h7.
out.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
She's
f3. Oh my goodness.
the
Okay, she
king's running.
runs.
The
She
king is running.
runs.
Knight check.
Look at her go.
There's
All right.
discoveries
King
now.
d7, I think, is required.
Knight
And knight
f6 again. Is
f6.
this a
King c7.
perpetual?
Are we going to see another
Oh.
another classic draw here? Ooh, f2.
Oh,
Can you
f2
do this?
check. But the knight's covering the light squares.
Yeah.
Oh, she brings the bishop
Okay,
back.
so
Check.
Ben
And now the king
survives.
can go
So
backwards. No, forwards.
she goes to d7. Yeah, I think Stavroula is
Queen
happy with the
check.
draw here.
Just tag that knight.
Okay, queen e8 is a threat. That's why we see bishop a6. Need to keep the c8 square controlled.
White could take the e pawn. They take the f pawn.
Yeah, and
This also
the
defends c3.
The once sad knights have found their way into the position. Yeah, the knights on d6 doing great, and the bishops have seen better days. Yeah, just all the squares controlled now.
There was
over,
98. 98 was
that is
missed, but didn't matter.
flag.
What a crazy game.
Yeah.
I think she should have taken on d4 when she had the chance. But Talia gets a point. So
Yeah.
so Ben
Talia
gets their
taking
first
out
one.
Let's Go Band.
Dishonor on your cow. So do you have a nice anecdotal story on how she got that username? I feel like that's a reference to some.
No, I mean I think that's her own invention there.
No. I don't think she like invented that. That's definitely from like Mulan or something, right?
I think you're right. That is what that's from, isn't it? I never made that connection.
You just thought she. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm pretty. I don't know. Maybe she told Mulan about. Hey, is that a? Can we take that? Oh, then we lose our d3 knight. Interesting, but still, it might
what are
be
we looking at?
I'm looking at the
Nico's game. Okay.
Yeah, the game between Nico and Kevin.
Whenever you think Nico is hanging a tactic, I promise he's not.
Well, I mean,
he sees these things like
they
lightning.
are
It's
they are up
crazy.
they are up a piece, so trades are seemingly good. Also, that B
And knight back
pawn,
to c5 stops the rook from coming to b3,
yeah,
and
and
just
you can
b7
ignore this
is
with
fine.
B7. That's right. That's resignation. So Nico, their
There's one
first game
move.
of the season, and they're getting 2 points. So,
It's that easy.
all right. So going into round 3, I guess I should also give JJ a point. We have 6-2 SLU.
But Michigan picking up their first win of the match here, with Ben Lee taking out Stavrula in time pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ben has been getting tough positions, but definitely fighting and scoring 1.5 out of the 2 points for his team. So that leaves 2 rounds left to play. Like we said, SLU up to an early lead with 6 points to 2 points. Not insurmountable though. Definitely Michigan can mount a comeback here, but they're going to need a 4th player.
They're gonna
Hard to
need
mount a
Evan.
comeback unless you
Their
have a 4th
secret
player.
weapon, Evan Ling, is gonna come back and just wreak havoc against the bottom 2 boards of SLU.
I am so ready for it. I am so ready.
We can only hope. No, but SLU, obviously one of the powerhouse teams in the league. They won the championship their first time they played in our inaugural season back in 2020, and they actually haven't joined back until now. So this is exciting to have them back. And we have an exciting match now starting in round 3 with JJ versus their top board Ben Lee.
This is definitely one to follow. So Ben has had a rough go of it against Talia and Stavrula, and now they're facing, like I said, world champion archbishops veterans here. JJ and Nico both, I think, on that winning team, the archbishops in the Pro Chess League. So not so easy.
Yeah, and like
But
Pendiculation said, this is also a really tough start of the season for Michigan because last week they had to play Mizzou. So having
yeah,
to play Mizzou and SLU as their first 2 matches of the season, definitely tough. But the good news is moving forward, they have that out of the way already. So from here, it's smooth sailing downhill battles. But Division One's really tough in general, but these are definitely the 2 toughest teams in Group B.
by the way, JJ's move h6 on move 4 stops Ben Lee in his tracks. He spent 40 seconds thinking about what to do after h6.
Yeah, Bishop G5 is normally that pin that you want to go for, and H6 is one of these secret weapons that JJ has up his sleeves.
Yeah, I mean he loves doing this. He'll just play some random move like see a6. What does he care? Why develop your pieces when you're a grandmaster? You can just play h6 a6 and get away with it.
I love H6. Flight square takes away G5. I mean, so much upside to it.
Yeah, the thing is, generally white plays bishop g5, and then you play h6, attacking a bishop and gaining a tempo. So playing h6 unprovoked does feel a little bit fishy, because you should be losing a tempo on some normal lines. But I think JJ's argument is that after bishop f4, bishop d6, he's getting those bishops off the board, which is something that's you usually have to work pretty hard to achieve with black. Wow,
Okay.
f4.
Yeah, white's going for it.
F4? Is that f4?
What about G4 now?
Yeah, f4, g4, and the pawns are rolling, but look at that e3 pawn just getting left in the dust. Ben with no respect for his pawn structure, just gonna make all the weaknesses and play to murder.
You know what they say,
Trying to
Caleb?
murder that light squared
You
bishop.
can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
That's true.
So,
and e3 is definitely a broken egg if I've ever seen one.
see, like now it's getting some tender care and loving.
Yeah, for now. I'm sort of half expecting Ben to play like king h1 and push e4.
There's
next.
G4. Okay, now are we gonna sacrifice? Do you sacrifice or do you play?
No, so you go bishop g6. The light squared bishop is white's best minor piece, so you definitely want to be able to trade that one off.
But now
Um,
what if f5?
yeah, the problem with f5 is you're allowing this queen in, right? Queen g3, queen h3, this
Oh,
all comes with check.
that f pawn
So
is it's
White's
pinned.
kind of in a bad way here. I think he needed to deal with this queen g3 threat before going for g4. Because now the bishops just get traded, and where's the beef? Where's the beef, Joe? What was the point of it all? We pushed g4 f4, but how are you getting anything?
That is a good point. I missed Queen G3 and maybe Ben did as well. And so is now playing King G2, but like you said, this is a move too short because now JJ can trade bishops and does so. And now the
Yeah,
knight's coming
all,
into
all the
H4.
all the bite is gone for white now. Without that light squared bishop, it's hard to really prove anything here. So what's left is a bunch of weaknesses. You pushed f4, you pushed g4. That leaves the d4 pawn weak. That leaves your second rank weak. That's actually a really underrated weakness that
Yeah,
comes with pushing
Queen
this move.
B2 is really good here. Queen takes B2 now. You can
Yeah.
ignore the threat because you take on D2 with check.
Ah, nice tactics. Nice tactics. Can you get away with that? I guess you can. I agree. Queen
Perhaps.
b2. What's the big deal? Let's do it. Come on, JJ. You see these.
Ah, he
Ah, just
saves the
97.
knight.
All right. Keeps it simple. I guess white is currently forked. d4 and b2 are both hanging, so maybe he can take his time.
Yeah, I don't see how you defend that. Um,
I was going to say, though, imagine this f5 pawn on f2. Then the white king would be so much safer. Queen b2 would look so much less threatening because nothing is coming with check. But with this pawn on f5, yeah, Ben has to play stuff like rook f2, and he's going to have to keep a very, very close eye on that king on g2.
there goes the
Otherwise,
D pawn.
big problems. Big
So
problems.
now JJ's got the pass pawn on the D file.
Yeah, just a clear extra pawn. I think Ben is about to go for broke here. He's going to continue pushing on the king's side, try and get
G5.
some checkmating threats. Yeah, you want to play g5, but you need to defend the
Yeah,
f5 pawn
F5 would
first,
hang
which
with
is
tempo.
why... Yeah, so queen f4, preparing g5. I would expect it to come right now. I think Ben needs to go crazy.
H4.
So one more preparatory move, but that preparatory move, maybe you didn't have time for it, because now d4, and the white pieces are going to get pushed back.
Ah.
Oh, or maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, we have
Ignores
G5.
the threat.
Now, can we go knight
All right, yeah.
H5? There's queen G4.
I have a question.
Or we
What if
just
I
take the
take on
knight.
c3, you take on f6, and I take on b2? Do I make a queen? Feels like I make
Uh,
a queen. But I
and
guess queen
then,
g4,
yeah,
there's no good response.
queen's gonna go after that G7 pawn.
Yeah, so Ben is making some threats here. He's got chances still. So
Um,
knight h5, queen g4. I think I like your line. And then we take on c3. If you take on h5, then I take on b2. And you don't have the checkmating threats. I'm making a queen on the very next turn. And life should be good.
yes. Yeah, take the knight now.
Yeah, I think d takes c. If you go g takes h6, it looks like you're threatening checkmate, but the
But
knight
the
on h5
knight
actually
defends.
has some life
Yeah.
left in what defends against checkmate. So JJ does go for this line.
Two queens on
and
the board.
Black is able to make a second queen. That's right. h7 check is nothing. You can try to take on g7, but I don't believe it. Not with two queens.
Queen H8 is mate, though. Oh, we have queen
Yeah.
sacrifice. Queen
All right.
check.
The first queen
Ah,
leaves the board,
the queen will
but
take on
the
G7
second
with
queen
check.
comes back.
There goes the
And
mating chances.
not an extra queen, but an extra rook now for JJ is going to be enough. Just don't play f6. Never play f6. That's the one idea left.
But that knight's pinned, Caleb.
It is
F6.
pins, but Ben Feingold sometimes is correct. About 50% of the time, you should never play f6. That was one of the cases.
Okay.
All right, yeah, mate in 2 is threatened. No chances left for Ben. This should be it. So I think maybe we should go somewhere else. Maybe.
Theodora is playing Justin. This game
Yeah, and
seems
in
interesting.
classic Theodore style, there are no pawns left in front of his king. He pushed them all forward. um, he has a habit of doing this. I think he
See,
just
Theodora is rocking the Santa Claus flare, kind of like leaving the Christmas lights on past
ah
past the New Year. Um,
the Santa Claus flair. See me, I'm true to the city. I've got the Archbishop's flair. So
you're more of a fan than they are, and they play on the team.
yeah.
They're not under contract to rep the Archbishop flare.
No, apparently not during the off season at least.
Okay. Yeah, so why
Um,
not take on F4, Caleb? Is Black gonna
so
get
yeah,
this?
King H1 played rather than takes on F4. Honestly, I don't know.
And they
um,
just leave it there. Is this
yeah,
one of
this
those?
F.
It's like
No, go ahead.
my grandmaster opponent is leaving a piece hanging. I shouldn't take it, right? Because
Yeah, but you can't play like that. Sometimes you gotta take it. You gotta say, all right, you're rated 3,000 on this website. I understand that maybe you have some big idea if I take your piece,
the
but
idea
I'm
is
gonna have an
connect
extra
four.
piece.
You can't let that
Connect 4
pawn
is
connect
strong.
four connection. Yeah, the knight should
All
go
right.
back to f4 because clearly white won't
I
take
think
it.
it's going. I think it's going back to F4. I think we're good.
So he
Check.
could get the bishop h3 check. But
Ooh, are we
probably
gonna see? Oh, hold on. Never mind. I thought we might see something crazy like knight F2, but I don't think it quite works. Knight F2 with the idea of like Queen H3 check and
but yeah,
coming in.
rook f2 looks good there.
Yeah, it doesn't do much. Oh wow, Queen E2 asking for it, asking for Knight F4 to
Go
be
back to
played.
f4, I dare you.
I don't see why not. F4, Nico just wants the G file and wants to play for mate. But I guess Knight F5 is why white is okay with it now. So Knight F4, we take, and then Knight F5, and that knight's going to do a good job.
Pawn push.
Okay, that pawn is attacked twice and defended once. I can do that math.
Would you like to take on g4?
So if you take on g4, now knight f4 check should be good, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up with your queen and king both on the g file, and if you take the knight, then that g file is open. So that would lose, I think.
Okay.
So Nico again,
As
normal, has some kind of idea whenever it looks like he's hanging something.
Caleb, hear me out on this. What if king takes h3, pawn takes h3, then queen takes h5? That looks pretty good.
That would be great if it were legal, but highly illegal, unfortunately.
Highly not even like just normal illegal, like
no.
more illegal than
in all 50 states, you can't get away with that anywhere. Not even like Alabama. Like they don't even not even in Alabama.
Wow.
Well, they let you play king takes h3.
They let you do almost anything there.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So now the knight's on f3. That's a nice square.
Yeah. White's gonna try to defend along the second rank, but it's pretty clear that Nico's having all the fun here. Pressure down the f file, pressure on h2. There are some knight takes h2 ideas now that all the rooks are lined up like this. It doesn't work immediately, but just all these ideas. And black doesn't really need to hurry at all, because white's what is white doing in the meantime? Like queen b5, knight d5 just gets pushed back. Wow, h4. Okay.
En passant, that's legal.
En passant, highly legal. Knight takes h4, also legal. This is a little scary. So knight h4, you can't actually take the second time because rook h2 would win your queen. So this is a nice defensive idea by white here. You see this in a lot of positions, actually. When you're sort of getting attacked, you can try to push this pawn, and then it's now or never, basically, for en passant. You can either do en passant right now, or my pawn is stable on h4. So you can use that to your advantage, where maybe your opponent isn't quite ready to play en passant, but they can't play any kind of preparatory move because then en passant's illegal.
Mm.
Um, so now we did see knight f5 get played, which did lose a pawn. White is trying to use this h3 pawn sort of as a defender. Keep that pawn on the board, keep the king safe from threats down the h file. But
Where'd
yeah,
this knight
Nico's
going?
just Nico's rolling.
Okay, so G3 is hit. Oh, queen.
Yeah,
Okay.
g3 is dead. Queen
Oh,
g1 is
is
mate.
there queen G1? Oh,
Queen
they go here
g2 is
instead,
mate. Oh my
taking with the
goodness.
pawn to deliver
Yeah.
the checkmate.
Nico
Nice.
knows when you see mate in two, look for a better mate in two. And Queen G2, the better mate in two, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
we
sure.
we all saw, queen to G1, but perhaps that queen on E3 could leapfrog over the rook on F2, and
Yeah,
defend G1.
especially for playing over the board, you want to leave as few chances as possible for your opponent to cheat. So Queen
Hmm.
G2 leaves very few cheating
Yeah.
chances. There's no queen hopping over the rook.
No.
There's nothing.
So I see Stavrula has started the fourth round. This is the
Yep.
final round, and with the player missing, I think SLU has clinched this 10-2 right now. They're over the 8.5 point mark. But
That should do it. Yeah.
so no miracle comeback for Evan Ling at this point. I think the third round
Um,
was their last chance, but
So tell me, are there any kind of board point tiebreakers?
yes,
Is
there
there
is.
is there
So
any? Yeah.
there is purpose to these final games here. So the first thing to realize is that the system or the tournament is a round robin. So every team in a group will play every team in that group, and the playoff standings is determined off their match score. So how many wins versus how many losses and ties and stuff like that. But if two teams are tied, the next tiebreak will be board points. So your score throughout all the matches gets added up, and that is your first tiebreak or your second. I don't know if it's the first or second tiebreak, like the terminology, but it is.
It's
It's
a tiebreak.
yeah. Because like some people would say, okay, no, your match score is the first tiebreak, but like I
That's
don't
not a tiebreak.
I don't
That's just
I don't
score.
understand. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, you
So
get what I'm saying. There is
yeah.
something on the line
So
here.
something to play for. Also, of course, honor on the line.
Yeah, and just finishing out the match in general.
Michigan's cow may have already been dishonored, but their chess team isn't yet. So they are definitely going to fight and try to score some more points. By the way, this opening was really instructive between Kevin and Stavrula. I'm sort of just watching and like trying to take some notes here. You saw the queen sort of in tension on the b file, and that's how we ended up with this weird pawn structure. White took on b6, making black's pawns doubled. And then you saw a weird looking move, rook to c1. So the idea of that is very commonly in the opening, when you get this structure, black will quickly try to push b5, b4,
Hmm.
fix the pawns, and take advantage of this pin down the a file. But Kevin was in time to play rook c1, leave that pawn stuck on b5, and now Stavrula is saddled with that weakness sort of permanently.
I also think we should look at Theodoro versus Ben, the top two boards.
Yeah, let's check that out for sure.
And it looks like Ben's got an early lead in time. So that's cool to have against Theodoro. Who's in a
Yeah,
think tank right now.
I don't know. That makes me nervous. It's generally whenever you're playing a higher rated player, in my experience at least, when they start thinking, that's when you're in trouble.
Oh no.
They like to do this thing where if they don't like their position, they sort of move very quickly to get the edge on the clock and project this air of confidence. But when they start thinking, more often than not, they're looking for a kill. They're like, okay,
Going
you
for the
messed
throat.
up. Time for me to think for 2 seconds
Queen
and
D3.
just end this game. Yeah, Queen D3. Nico in
E5.
classic style, I think is aiming to checkmate his opponent.
Here first. Sacrificing the pawn
Yeah.
because you're gonna play E5, I bet. No, actually, you take back. You want to get rid of
No,
this
yeah,
E pawn.
you just take on D5.
And then queen
And
d3, and then you force a pawn push, or I don't know if you can play knight f6.
yeah,
That
so
knight can get
so
dislodged.
Black should have knight f6 now. Rook e8 is actually sort of preparing for knight f6 because the dark squared bishop would need a square. So rook e8, yes, it gets the rook
Or
on the open file. More
there's
importantly, it allows for bishop f8.
there's also knight f8.
Yeah, I think I would rather have the knight on f6, to be honest.
But
Actually,
that,
maybe knight f8, bishop f6 is the intention.
yeah, switch the two pieces around. I think
Yeah.
the knight's a better defender of the light squares. And the knight on f6 can be kicked with like maybe bishop e5.
So the only reason I wanted the knight on f6 is I think white is going to be playing d6 before too long, and I wanted the bishop on f8 to sort of target that pawn.
Yeah.
But actually, if you play knight f8 here, or knight f6, d6, d7 is just
That's a
winning.
fork. That's
That's
attacking
just
two
fork.
rooks.
It's
That's
that
nice.
easy.
So the knight can't move right now,
Uh,
is what you're saying.
yeah. So I think you have to start with bishop f8 or bishop f6 then.
Okay. So getting the bishop out of the attack of the potential d6 pawn.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you like d5? Like that pawn is passed, but it's also isolated. It could be a target. It could be winning a rook. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't
this
know.
is the thing that this is one of those positions where it feels like I'm just not good enough at chess to play them effectively. Like, and whenever you're playing, like whenever I'm playing a stronger player, at least in these positions, for them the d5 pawn always seems like this massive strong pawn that's just hampering all my pieces. And whenever I have the d5
It's
pawn,
just
it's
a
like, oh,
weakness.
I'm losing this pawn by force in 10 moves. Like there's no way I'm keeping this pawn forever. Um, and it can go either way. It definitely can go either way. In this position, though, I do think d5 is a strength. It steps to d6 now, but this is not a move that white really wanted to play, to be honest. Yeah, now you see the light squared bishop comes back to life. And the black knight is going to get squares like e6 available to it. Obviously, you can't move it right now because of h7. But d5, d6 does give black a lot of these squares, a lot of these open lines.
I think I think the rook on c1 needs to get involved. Maybe like go to the e file. Or maybe
Yeah, Rookie one
d1.
would have made a lot of sense. Instead, Nico makes a threat. I think he's going for bishop h6 stuff. Okay, knight g6, daring white to take on h6. I don't think black will take back. I think black is going to take on d6.
Yeah, you lose the d6 pawn. So
Yeah.
that is an interesting idea though. So there now we have rook e1, and I think the
Here's your
idea
move.
is to go bishop e4.
I think the idea is to hope black takes on f4.
So yeah, okay, so
Yeah,
bishop
so we can
here.
actually play queen d3 or queen c2. The bishop on f4 is poisoned.
Really? Because of the checkmate on h7, yes.
Yeah, so the rook on e1 prevents the king's escape route, and that's why we do see queen to d3. So if knight f4, it's just mate in 2. Queen h7, queen h8.
Well, also, I
GG.
mean, the pawn on d6 also escaped or covers the escape route, right?
Yeah, without the rook, though, then the king would go out to... Oh, no,
Well,
you're right. There's no
yeah,
king
queen
e8.
check. There's queen h8. Yeah,
All right, so black is extra checkmated if you take on f4.
double mated.
Yeah.
Um, I think Stavrola already beat Kevin.
Oh, my goodness. That didn't take long.
Very quick.
Wow, and Stavrula, I think, is like provisional or something. She gained 21 rating points for that win. It's kind of
That's
crazy.
nice. Yeah, yeah. Stavrola's knight just got in and took everything.
Ah, yeah. Kevin got forked. That's the way she goes. That's the way she goes.
So point for Stavrola, who finishes the day at 2.5 out of 4, I believe. Hey, Bangladesh Chess Club rating with a party of 1. Thank you. I believe that's probably Masharov. So shout out to
Awesome.
Bangladesh. How did you guys do in your match? I think UET stands for Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, something like that. I'm good, Moshrov. Yeah, shout out to Moshrov as well. You won 10-6. Congratulations. We are watching SLU in the final round playing against University of Michigan. After this, we'll have a break. We're gonna probably raid somebody, and then we'll be back at 9 a.m. Pacific with another match. And then we have a few matches left after that. But yeah, right now we're watching Theodoru versus Ben Lee from UMich, and it looks like White's doing well. They've traded light square bishops, and this d6 pawn's looking stronger and stronger after every passing move.
Yeah, I think this game really shows how much of a blitz specialist Nicholas can be, because he got this position where it seemed like there were all these different threats just kind of looming, and then he just sort of played some moves. He didn't try to win by force. He just said, all right, I'm going to play, queen back to d3, queen back to f5, rook e1, bishop back to g3, and eventually black hung a pawn. And that's one of the best ways to win in blitz. You don't want to try and spend your time calculate out a win or anything. You just play the simple moves when you have a good position. You don't spend too much time on the clock, and you let your opponent make the mistakes. You don't need to win by force. You just need to win.
A pawn is all it takes.
Yeah, one pawn is all you need.
That's all Nico needs, at least.
So rook e8 check is in the position, but maybe Nico wants this rook on e1 to help defend the king.
Yeah, his bishop is taking up the flight square on h2, so there would potentially be back rank, and Nico just says, let's get the queens off. Who cares about trading rooks?
Yeah, queen e4 makes a lot of sense. So, as always in chess, whenever you take a pawn, sometimes that costs enough time for your opponent to activate a little bit. And it seems like that has happened here with h5, h4. The white minor pieces actually are looking sort of sorry for themselves. This bishop on h2 cannot move. The knight on f3 has no advancing moves. So that's the problem that's left for Nicholas to solve here. He needs to activate these pieces somehow. But just d7.
D7, yeah. And the threat is, is queen e8 a threat? Because that rook is defended by the bishop.
No, I think he just wants bishop c7. So,
as
I was saying...
Yeah, you're right.
Need to activate the minor pieces, and of course, Nicholas finds clearly the best way to do that instantly.
But
immediately solves his problems.
Ben could take on a2.
He could, and then he would have an a2
pawn. So okay, can you stop bishop c7? I guess maybe there's they do take on a2.
Hey, there you go. Okay. Free pawn.
Two pawns. Two pawns.
Yeah. Rook b1 is tempo. Okay, queen d5. Just even. Simple.
He's really insistent on trading queens.
Yeah, so I think Ben is just aiming for a position where he's going to be a piece down. So I think you have to trade the queens here. And then I think Ben is just aiming to move the rook. And after d8, queen just sacrifices bishop on f6 and hope for the best. If you allow bishop takes d8, okay, so this is what Ben chooses. But the problem now is you're down an exchange and the d7 pawn lives. So if you were just down the exchange, maybe you can say you're still fighting. But with this d7 pawn still alive, more material is about to drop.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, just rook e8, no more back rank mates. Although, okay, I guess maybe bishop c7 is worth stopping.
Bishop c7. No, yeah, but you could always block on e1 with the knight.
I actually like queen d6 here, I think. But maybe knight e6 is what Nicholas didn't like about that. So knight g5 instead makes a threat.
Yeah, attacking f7, but now the queen to f4 defends that and also attacks the knight.
Yeah, I kind of don't like this. I think queen d6 was a lot simpler for Nicholas. Now, someday you can see bishop c7 and everyone's capable of hanging queen h2.
Oh, f2
okay, bishop
is a
b6
threat.
Instead. Yeah. Look at all these threats coming out of nowhere. Yeah, Ben is a fighter. Does not lose easily.
Rook f1, super passive, but
yeah, but is your d7 pawn hanging? Can I capture that?
Knight takes. Uh,
Oh,
I don't know,
Nico
dude. Nico's
is
thinking
tanking.
too. Yeah, look at that. Making it
I mean,
interesting.
you
Making
gotta
it
take it.
interesting.
You gotta take the pawn.
There goes that D7 pawn. So now, like you
Take
said, only down in exchange.
Yeah, either Queen C7 or Queen D4 keeps everything together.
Queen check, knight back.
And yeah, I actually do like that Ben is keeping the queens on here because if you simplify, these exchange down positions do actually tend to be lost.
Going after that B
So
pawn, that's gonna be hard to save. So the queen actually just abandons it.
yeah, B pawn is gone. But we've got the queen knight combo. Are you a believer in the power of the queen and the knight,
Yeah.
Joe?
So I oh, this forces the queens off though. So there goes the duo.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's
And
just the knight. um, but yeah, like you're saying, the queen and knight combo is one of these things in chess where people say how strong it is, kind of like the bishop pair.
yeah,
Essentially, the rationale behind that, to my understanding, is that the queen works really well with the knight because the knight complements the queen because the queen can move like a rook and a bishop, but not like a knight. So getting those
yeah,
additional
it does what the queen
moves.
can.
Yeah, I like G4 a lot. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you want to keep pawns on the board when you're
yeah.
trying to press here, so any pawn trades you can avoid should be avoided.
There's also like now rook F5 maybe or okay.
What I
Force the
wanted to
queen
say
back.
about that though is it's sort of just not true. Just don't play King D5, Nico. All right, he doesn't. Okay, no knight forks today.
King
Um,
D5 would be a
but
weird move, but
yeah, the queen and knight being stronger than the queen and the bishop is sort of one of the biggest lies in chess. I think I was watching. It was one of the St. Louis broadcasts with like Yasser and Jenna Maurice, and they were having a conversation about like what the biggest or the most incorrect principle is in chess. And I think everybody on the show agreed the queen and knight being stronger than the queen and bishop is just a straight up lie most of the time.
really,
Sometimes it's good, but in general, bishops are still better than knights, even if with queens on. So you
dang.
see h4 again. Nico declines any and all pawn trades. Now he's actually just going to go try to trap the knight, I think.
Yeah, he wasn't even gonna sack the rook. He was just gonna go King G3 next, and that knight's a goner. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I do like the queen and knight combo, but I guess if that's a lie, then
I mean, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it is
yeah,
good. But
it's
bishops
definitely a
are strong.
positional thing. Like that's the answer to chess in general. Is it depends, right,
Of course.
on the position. But yeah, so we have final score 13-2. Actually, don't think I gave Talia her last round
It
forfeit point.
should be
So
14, I think.
14-2 now. And the only loss came from Stavrula against the top word. But yeah, overall, huge performance. Again, Michigan was missing a player, which is unfortunate. But yeah, this is Nico's first match this season, first of many, I assume. And I think SLU still has yet to add more talent. They have like Benjamin Bach and like
The roster's deep.
they got Darius
Yeah,
Schwirtz.
that guy's a monster. The SLU team just
Yeah.
full of monsters.
So they only they last week they had I forgot who their fourth board was, like Great Owl or something. Do you know? There's another girl.
Who?
It was another girl player. I forgot her name, but her username I think was like Great Owl.
I don't recognize it.
You're the expert, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's why we brought you on. You're supposed to know these things.
I think she might be a new player. I think there was a freshman that came on this year who
You know,
was another strong female player.
I can search. But anyways, that is the match. And I'm really excited to have Caleb joining us more in the future. Hopefully Caleb's as excited as I am. I don't know.
I am thrilled to be here, Joe. I am absolutely thrilled.